One.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us today. So I'm Dr. Atika. So for today's talk is actually the initiative by the Office of Deputy Dean Postgraduate and Research (DDPGR), and also this is in collaboration with this Postgraduate Student Society, and then the IIUM alumni, and also the Office of Deputy Dean Student Development and Community Engagement, and also the Center of Postgraduate Study. So this our aim is actually to help our PG students. This is to to help them in their research, and also to keep their motivation at the really at the highest level. Okay, so today we are so lucky we have Prof Razi here, so as the speaker, and then we have Dr. Izuddin as the moderator. So without further delay, I would like to pass the floor to the moderator. Okay, Dr. Mohamed Izuddin. Okay, please, Dr. Izuddin.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Atika. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, thank you very much for coming to our talk today. We have a very prominent professor, Professor Muhammad Razi, Muhammad Jalaldeen. So, basically, he is now currently in University of Kelaniya in Sri Lanka, mashallah. Department of Commerce and Financial Management. He was with us. He is a very prominent professor. So basically, he has written a lot of He has written a lot of journal paper, conference paper, white paper, technical paper. Because before this, he was working with the central bank in Sri Lanka, mashallah. So we are very grateful to have him for today talk. And he was our lecturer for about, if I'm not mistaken, about 10 years. You were in Malaysia, right, Prof?
12 years.
12 years, mashallah, a very, very long time. And he has supervised a lot of students in KICT, and also now he's supervising students in Sri Lanka. So who is better to talk about this topic than him, right? Because he can compare between these two worlds. So basically, without further ado, I would like to welcome Prof. Razi to the floor to give your talk. Tafadhal.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Izuddin and Dr. Atika. First of all, I'd like to say Assalamu alaikum to you all. And very good. Sri Lanka, it is just 12 past 30 minutes. So I should say good afternoon or good evening to you all. So actually, I feel like reunion with my family after around 3 years' time. Thank you so much for inviting me for this wonderful session. Actually, when I see these images here, I feel like that I'm again in UIA. That experience always being in my mind, and it's a very good experience. I should thank Dr. Murni first for inviting me, then all the organizers for giving this opportunity. But actually, to be frank with you all, when I see the participant here, I'm quite afraid now, because I thought that I would talk to some of our PG students, but I see Dr. Murni, Prof. Roslina, Dr. Liana, right? So I'm quite afraid now. I'm nervous to talk here, because I thought that I would talk to some students here. But anyway, I would like to use this opportunity to share some of my experience. As Dr. Izuddin correctly mentioned, please don't take this session as a kind of a talk or lecture. Rather, I prefer to have this session a kind of experience sharing, because especially the postgraduate student, I thought that I would talk to the PhD student here. I am also an alumni of KICT, IIUM, and then like I was quite fortunate to be with the family for around another 8 years. So altogether 12 years, 4 years as a student, then 8 years as a lecturer. So I thought of just sharing my experience as a student, especially at the KICT, because that environment is quite unique. like correctly mentioned by Izuddin, if you compare the IIUM and the university that I work here, and the same time, actually this is my second university in Sri Lanka. Before I come to Malaysia, I worked for the University of Colombo. So basically, these universities, our country is majority by Buddhist or the Sinhalese. So we are the second minority. The first minority is Tamils and the Hindus. So the Muslims are the second minorities. So we are only 8% here. So just to give you, the relative picture, in the currently I'm working for the University of Kelaniya, where we have around 140 odd lecturers in my faculty of Commerce and Management Studies. Only 2 of us are Muslims. Myself and one of our colleagues are Muslim. All other people are non-Muslim brothers and sisters. Actually, they are nice people. There is no any discrimination or anything. I feel kind of a safe environment. But just to tell you that IIUM is a place where we share the Islamic values. Then that actually the Islamic values take us, for in our hardship and all our journey, right? So we always give more priority for Islam and Allah, and actually as a family we try to achieve the blessing of Allah. So that's why the environment is a bit different here. But anyway, just let me. I hope that I can share my slides. Yes, I can. So I thought of just sharing some slides. Actually, as I told you, I'm not planning to do a kind of serious lectures, but just want to share some of my experience and thoughts with you all. Especially my focus is to the PhD students, right? So simply research life is like this, right? Sometimes this is the reality. I hope that all the scholars who are here, who have gone through this journey, PhD journey, we all there is no doubt that we all would agree on this particular reality. So this is the reality. So if any one of us, just feeling that this is happening only to us, then that is actually wrong, right? So this is the life. This is the life of a research student. So whatever the progress level we are in, we should agree, we should aware that this is very common for a PhD student or PhD journey, right? Then it's always mentioned that the PhD journey is different person to person. Some of you can't compare, right? Even though you are in the same environment or in the same university or same context or same discipline, but the experience one-to-one is a bit different. So but anyhow, in general, all people, right? All the research students has to face this kind of scenario. Then another reality, I hope that all my respected senior colleagues who are here, who would agree with me, this is another scenario that is quite common for everyone, right? Even we all felt like this. This is also quite common. So if this is happening to us, no need to worry that this is happening only to me or only to us. This is quite common for everyone. So sometimes just I wanted to highlight, or I wanted to bring you kind of a context where the research life is not that easy. And these are quite common symptoms, I should say, common symptoms in a PhD life. So if you are in any of this stage, no need to worry. This is quite common for everyone. Then I thought of having, why? Because the topic that was suggested for me is stuck with your thesis, way to keep going, right? Then I thought that I just try to gather some kind of points to talk with you all. Then I able to find that when you look at this kind of topics, you can address from a technical perspective. Just say, for example, how to write, how to start your thesis, or how to develop your first chapter or problem statement, or something like that. That is one kind of approach I notice in the literature or in the available information. Then I thought that is quite common, right? If you Google, you can find a lot of tips to improve your write-up, or to improve our what do you call the progress, right? Then I thought that I have some links I will share with you all that would help you in that regard, right? If you want kind of technical help to improve your thesis or your write-up. But I thought that I should approach this topic in a different way, where I can I can relate our own context. At the same time, I can give you some kind of I can bring some kind of my experience that definitely would help, because I have noticed that it has helped a lot for other people, right? So the first thing is why stuck with your thesis. Most of the time we feel that okay, this is enough, right? That has to be frank. My senior colleagues also here. In my PhD journey, I had this is enough, and I should leave the PhD two times, right? So I will share that experience a bit later. But basically, the problem is lack of motivation, right? We start our PhD journey due to different reasons. Sometimes we wanted to do a PhD, so that means we like to have a kind of the so-called doctorate with us. There's sometimes we are forced to do, right, because of the profession that we are in. Just say, for example, in my case, I was a lecturer before I come to Malaysia for my PhD. So it was a kind of a situation where I had to do a PhD, even though I was not that mentally prepared for a PhD. But it was a kind of circumstances that pushed me for a PhD. So whatever the reasons that you are started your PhD, then we have to have that motivation, because the PhD journey is a kind of a lonely journey, right? We can find a lot of people around us, but if you take our thesis or our research, that is we have to go alone, right? Even though that in a coursework or just say a class setup, the lecturer will take us, lecturer will teach us, lecturer will give assignments. So by doing those things, automatically we will progress. But when it's come to research, especially at PhD level, the journey is quite lonely journey. Even though the people are around us, but still we feel that we are alone, right? I hope that everyone would agree with me on that, right? So the keeping our motivation is quite important. Lack of motivation can make us go down and quit, or sometimes you don't see any progress. But Alhamdulillah, when you are in IIUM or in UIA, that the Islamic environment, right? I should, to be frank with you all, when I entered IIUM in year 2007, I felt that blessing, right? That I am in an Islamic environment. But when the time goes, we used to that environment, so it became a kind of usual environment. But again, when I left UIA in 2019 and joined in a different environment, then I really miss that environment. So the people who are in UIA, you people are very lucky that you are in an environment that always remind you that you are a slave of Allah, and we are, right, as a Muslim, we are our main focus is to what do you call satisfy Allah. right? And get his blessing. The good thing here is both party. I should say the both party mean the student community and the staff community. Both parties are working for the same goal, right? Getting the blessing of Allah. So here I just quote two things. So one is from Quran and one is from Hadith. I hope that I no need to read this one because we people all know that seeking knowledge is an ibadah in Islam. So in UIA environment, if you keep that particular mantra in our heart, that because whatever the hardship that we face, but at the end we are learning something, right? So seeking knowledge is an ibadah. So through ibadah we can get the blessing of Allah, right? So the good thing here, that's what I'm always I feel like that the both party, the student and the staff, both of us are working for the common goal of getting the blessing of Allah, right? So as a student community, whatever the suffering that we are facing, we can get kind of a motivation because ultimate goal, whether we have a doctorate or not, our goal is to get the blessing of Allah. Allah is not going to ask you whether you have a PhD in Akhirah, right? We all know that. But what you did in your lifetime, that is the question that we have to answer. So I feel that whatever the hardship, right? Whatever the hardship that we face during our PhD journey, so to get the motivation back, if you can keep this to say, actually this is not Quran ayah or anything, just the summary, because I don't want to quote any single ayah. Just I try to find some the statement that summarize the message of Quran and the Hadith, right? So if we can keep this particular thing in our mind and always remind among ourselves, then I don't think that we will get get the low motivation, right? So this is one thing that I like to suggest to keep in our mind especially whenever we face a kind of difficult time in our PhD journey, right? Then in addition to that, right, as we all know, even though we are Muslims and we know that our main goal is to satisfy Allah and get His blessings, but still, we have some, we have to live in this world and we have a lot of obligations towards, worldly things, right? In Islam, there is no things that call worldly thing and akhirah, but anyway, we have to have some kind of material motivation also, materialistic motivation also. So always think about the opportunities that we are going to get after our PhD, right? The career opportunities, like just say, for example, even for me, right? I always dream about my future after PhD. At that time, to be frank, I'm talking to my PhD students here. When I entered to the IIUM in 2007, luckily at that time, Dr. Dr. Murni was on leave, I think. So Dr. Rahma was the Dr. Ramla was the head of the department. So the first time I met her and I just told her that I just joined here as a PhD student. So he suggested to me, since she just talked to me and she understood that I'm coming from university and I was a lecturer at that time. So she suggested me to become a part-time lecturer or visiting lecturer at the faculty at that time. They wanted some visiting lecturers. So I started, while I do my PhD, I started to work as a part-time lecturer. While I was doing my part-time lecturing, I felt that this is one of the best place to work, especially that Islamic environment. 100% Muslim students, the students population is coming from all around the world. So it is like, living in a Muslim world, like, world, not country, right? Then I thought that this is a best place to be and to work. Then that motivation, because I just had the thought that if I can make my PhD life better, At the same time, if I can do a better job as a visiting lecturer, definitely I will get a chance to work for this university. So that also always keep me kind of motivated, right? I was to be frank, guys, before I joined the IIUM as a lecturer, I had the time, right, to decide whether I come back to my country or whether I stay in Malaysia. At one point, before I get the opportunity to join as a lecturer to the IIUM, I had to decide whether I leave my job in Sri Lanka. Then I took that challenge. I resigned my job from at the university here in Sri Lanka. Then I was without any officially speaking any job for I think two to 3 weeks, around 1 month. Then only I got the offer letter from the IIUM. So why I am telling this is that this was a kind of a kind of a dream for me to join IIUM as a lecturer. So that also keep me kind of motivated. So you people also, now I know that during my time there were a lot of local and local and foreign colleagues with me. Some of them are the local, especially the local colleagues. They are, they work from different universities from the Malaysian context. One of them is Professor Noman. He's one of a very good senior colleague. Even though he's younger than me, but I look him as my senior because he helped me a lot, right? So then so the local people like Dr. Noman, he always talk about the positive thing, right? Once I complete this PhD, then I can go like this. So that make a kind of hope and it keep motivated, right? Then during my time I had a lot of foreign friends also. They also had different dreams, right? Some of them they wanted to go to Middle East, and some of them they said they want to go back to their country with a good qualification, then they can get a good job. So something like that. So the career opportunities. Now one of our colleagues, right? Actually, he didn't. I believe that he didn't complete his PhD, but now he is working for Amazon, right? A Palestinian brother. So we had different dreams. So that dreams actually take us whenever we feel kind of demotivated. Then that's why I just gave you two perspectives. One is akhira perspective, other one is the worldly perspective. Then lack of confidence. This is also one of the reasons why people stuck in their research journey. Lack of confidence, I should say that most of the time people, like even myself initially had that problem. Sometimes I worried about my language. Sometimes I worried about what I am talking, because sometimes I felt that this might be very small thing. How can I face in a public place? How can I express these things, right? So this kind of environment or situation can arise. This make us kind of lack of confidence, right? This make us always be silent, or always not to talk to others, something like that. But we have to understand that PhD is a journey, not a destination. In other words, we are a student. Now, just say, for example, in my case, when I came to UIA for my PhD, at that time I was already a senior lecturer at the University of Colombo. Right, with my in Sri Lankan context, if you have the master degree, then you can become a senior lecturer. So when I moved to Malaysia for my PhD as a student, I was already a senior lecturer in my country. But normally, this is very normal, right? It was quite hard for me at the beginning because the way they treat us as a student, right? So it was initially I felt like that it was quite I felt like demotivation, right? Demotivated. But later I realized that okay, now I am a student, so I can make any mistake, as a lecturer, you can't make a lot of mistakes, right? Because the students are looking at you that you know everything. Oh, you are quite perfect. So I had to behave like a lecturer. I had to talk like a lecturer. I had to do things like a lecturer. So it is a kind of actually a burden. Now, even now here, I have been introduced as a professor. So, I had to behave like a professor. I had to deliver something professor. It's actually a burden. I hope that all my senior people here, you will understand what I say. So to maintain that particular status is quite challenging. But when it's come to student mean you can make mistake. Student mean we are in the learning process. So when we are doing a PhD is like mentioned here is a journey, not a destination. You can't keep that PhD is something that is going to change the world. You are going to do a very big thing. No need to think like that. It is just a journey, right? Then it's a marathon, not a sprint. I hope that you understand, right? So it takes time. Just I told you that I had some kind of experience where I thought that I should leave or I should quit the PhD. One of the incident that I like to tell you, but I have personally told some of our colleagues when I was there. But just for your just to get the reality, to understand the reality. I worked for my proposal during our time, during the 2009 and 10, during that time, the KICT expected from us around complete 3 chapters, the introduction, literature review, and the methodology chapter completed, 3 chapters. And the 4th chapter, I mean, the data collection, data analysis methods, and something like that. So almost 3.5 chapters complete. You need to go for your proposal defense, but I hope that is not the situation now, right? So I was working hard for my proposal, and I do presentation time to time to my supervisors and my the faculty and some conference, and most of the time I get good feedbacks, time to time get some kind of bad feedback, something like that. Then suddenly, after around four semester, I almost ready with my proposal. I had around 150 pages with me. I was about to submit for my proposal defense. Then I sat with my supervisor. Then supervisor started to ask me some question. So one of the question I can remember, she asked me, right? I'm not actually blaming her. I really respect. Now only I understand. When I became a lecturer, then only I understand the real purpose of those questions, right? So she asked me to put my research, right? She said, "What you are going to do? Tell me in one sentence." So that was the question. I had 150 pages. So she asked me, put me in one sentence what you are going to do. I tried myself around 1 hour. I couldn't do that. Then she said, you go, you come back once you are ready. Then I went back and I was preparing myself to put everything in one sentence. And again, I met her after 1 week time. And I tried again, I failed again. I couldn't tell her, this is what I'm going to do. Then she started, she just took a A4 size paper. She started to ask me question. Then she just drew this, and she was just interviewing me for around 1 hour. Then finally she said, is this what you are going to do? Then I said, yes. After 1 hour of inquiry, she able to identify what I wanted to do. Then I said, yes, this is what I wanted to do. Then she said, this is not reflected in your document. 150-page document. She said, you are not ready yet. If you are really doing this one, whatever you are just said, then your document is not relevant. You have to come up with a different document. So that is one of the time that I felt this is the end of my journey. To be frank, my respected senior colleagues here, actually, that day I thought that it was the last day of my PhD. And I can't come back to my country at that time because I was on a kind of, bond with my university. So if I come back without a PhD, it will become a huge problem for me. So then I was, I thought that is not going to work. I started to find opportunities outside. Then, I able to contact my friends all around the world. Then finally, I able to get an opportunity to work in Bahrain in a university as a lecturer. Then I able to get the offer letter also. Once I get the offer letter, I just talk to my parents, especially my father. He was a school teacher. Then I told him that this is what happened. I want. Then I got this offer letter. Then my father asked me a question: are you quitting the PhD, or the university said that you can't do you are not capable enough to doing a PhD? I repeat again, my father asked me whether you are quitting the PhD or whether the university said that you are not capable enough to do a PhD. Then I said, it is not the university, it is me. I decided that I can't do it. Then my father told me, I put son. He said he used my own language, son. He felt he believed that it can make you a lifetime kind of what do you call the lifetime worry, right? Because if the university said you can't do, that means you have no option. You have to leave. But this is your own decision. So why can't you try again? Once you try once, and if it doesn't work, then you can decide your own way. So that was a kind of advice my father gave me. So normally I used to listen to my parents. Even now, even though I'm a professor, my father is still around. My mother also is still around. Whenever I make a decision, I used to talk to them. So I okay. Then I said, okay, since my father advised like that, then I said my Bahrain University that I'm not in a position to come now. I will join you later. I actually able to join them later. That's a different story. So then I came back and I started to redo my proposal. Alhamdulillah, within 3 months, I able to come up with a new proposal and I able to defend my proposal. Professor Roslina, also one of the panel member at that time. I don't know whether she can remember. So I able to defend my proposal successfully within 3 months. But that is the point. Actually, when I was kind of a rejection, my proposal was rejected by my own supervisor. That is the point. I just make my my objective. I just change my vision. Before that particular incident, my focus was getting done my thesis or getting my PhD. That was my focus, right? I want to get my PhD. But at that point, I changed my objective like this. I learn first. Whether I get my PhD or not, I will learn to become an independent researcher. Right? I think all I like to advise or recommend my PhD students here. You make your destination like don't make that PhD is your objective. PhD can be a byproduct. Make yourself that I am here to learn. So because if you make like that, I experienced that one, because whenever we fail, right, we learn something. Whenever we fail in our PhD journey, we learn something. Just say, for example, you submit a paper to a conference or journal, rejected. You learn something there, right? Rejection means we learn something, right? So if you make your target or objective as learning, so each and every step can make us kind of we are happy. Every day we learn something. But if you make your PhD as your main objective, Then whenever the drawbacks like that, what I experienced, this kind of things happen because we are going in the ladder, then come back, then we have to start again. So that is, if you make that is your prime objective, then there is a high chance that we get demotivated. So at the time I make myself, my objective is to become a researcher or become a kind of independent researcher. The PhD can be the title or the certificate or the thesis also can be a byproduct. Actually, that make my life very easier. I like to suggest you people also to take this particular advice. Then okay, the actually here now this is a thing. Most of the time we people believe that PhD is something where that is our destination, and we have to do big things, something like that. But I just search in the Google, then I found why a PhD might be valuable to your employer. In other words, what employers are looking from a PhD candidate. So PhD holder: devotion and determination, hardworking, can work independently, work harder and longer, plan several years ahead, master difficult concepts. These are the expectations of employers. If anyone want to employ you, hire you, these are the expectations. You can see here, they don't look for what you have done for your PhD, what is the finding of your PhD, whether your hypotheses are supported or rejected. There is no question at all. So these are the main things. So if we get a PhD without these qualities, then we will face a dilemma once you join a university or in any employer. But sometimes we might have this all plus PhD definitely going to help us, right? I hope that all the PhD holders here definitely you would agree with me, right? Now even now I have after my completing my PhD, I have faced a lot of interviews. No one asked about my PhD or my finding or my research. They just ask for the something different, right? So the people who are in the PhD journey, so please make sure that you have these qualities, right? These are the expectation from the employer side. Then bad comments, right? This is another thing that make us quite demotivated. Bad comments mean actually the bad comments mean the serious comments, right? So like what I get. I have a lot of experience getting a kind of tough comments from my own supervisor. Then the people who are here, like Professor Roslina, Dr. Murni. Whenever I go for seminars and all, I can remember Prof Abu, right? Prof Fauzan. So those are actually tough comments. I should say tough comments. Through that, actually, I able to polish my work and I improve. Right. That's what I told you, that I make myself after that particular incident. The learning is my prior objective. So even a single question from all these respected senior colleagues here, I learn a lot. But whenever the bad comments coming from your supervisor or any reviewer, the first mistake that we do, even I did the same, right? Whenever I find that there is no progress, or whenever I get bad comments from my supervisors or my reviewers, I used to hide myself from my supervisor. I hope that many of us are doing the same. Even I understand my own student doing that now. Whenever we give a kind of a tough comments or kind of a serious comments, we hide ourselves from our supervisor. This is actually a very bad habit. We have no choice. They are the people, right? Supervisors are the people. They have to help us to come out from this particular difficult time. Actually, as a supervisor, I understand now. So even though as a student, sometimes I didn't understand their real intention. Just say, for example, my supervisor, I told you many times she was quite tough with me, and sometimes I felt very sorry about myself being a student in this particular place. But later, right, when I became a supervisor, I understood the real intention of all those questions and all those, even I can remember once my supervisor told me, if you can't progress at this particular level, please find a different supervisor. So that was a kind of another tough comments I got in my PhD life. So that's kind of, she just almost gave up. Then at that time, Prof. Abu was there in the department, and Abu was like a father to me. So I went to him and I just told him, Prof, I don't know what is going to happen to myself. I got this kind of a comment from my supervisor. Then actually that day, Prof. Abu told me, don't worry, son, this is a very normal comment. I also do the same, but it is just coming from our tongue. It is not from our heart. He told me actually, I'm 100% sure she will not go you a lot, right? So she will with you. She will be with you. So that was the kind of a word I got from Prof. Abu at that time. So now I understand as a supervisor. I also sometimes use this kind of hard and kind of tough words to my student just to make them work hard. That is the thing. So we have no option. We have to go to our supervisor. If you are doing well, sometimes you can be far away from your supervisor. But if you are having a bad time, or bad comments from your own supervisor or the reviewer, you have to be with your supervisor. That is the place where you can get, you have to come out of that particular situation, right? So cordial relationship with the supervisors, very important, right? Sometimes some supervisors are very nice, they are very good, and even because this is actually the human approach, right? Some people are basically, they are tough, but all the intention is good. Everyone have the same intention, make sure that we graduate on time, but the approach is different. So that's what, like I show you the images earlier. Don't think that your supervisor is someone insane or someone hard person to deal with. Keep a kind of a good relationship. Then the second one is networking with colleagues. Actually, the point that I wanted to highlight here is try to have, we have a lot of PhD colleagues while we are doing our PhD. So try to make a good relationship with them, because we all are in the same boat, right? So sometimes the thing is, now you can't find a solution to your own problem, but you would be able to give solution to other people's problem. It's very normal, right? Even in the research also same, right? Sometimes your friends can help you. They can suggest you different things, right? So keep that good networking and attend the program like this. No, always try to be a team, right? You feel that if you have any issue or anything, someone to talk. In my case, actually, as I told you, Professor Mohd, now he's a professor. So he was kind of, that's what I told you, he's younger than me in age or in years, but he's quite senior. The maturity and his research ability and all. So always whenever I had tough times, I go to him and I talk to him. So he able to help me. Then I'm quite happy that I also able to do the same kind of a role when I became a kind of a senior level in my research work. I able to if Dr. Adamu is here, I can remember once Adamu talked to me. Then Dr. Naim from Nigeria, I'm quite happy that I able to help him. Not technically, not technically help them, but I able to talk with them, and I able to, for example, the Dr. Naim. like Dr. Naim was, he did his MBA when I was doing my, his master's. When I was doing my PhD, we were kind of, sharing the same research lab. So when I was doing my PhD, he was doing his master's. So our relationships like, brother relationship. Then when he started his PhD, already I became a lecturer at IIUM. So I used to see him in the Sravo at the bottom in our KICT. So suddenly after some time, I didn't see him for some time. After I think 3-4 months, I didn't see him. Then one day I saw him again in the Sravo. Then I asked him what happened. I didn't see you for a long time. Then he said I went home. I mean, he went back to Nigeria. Then I said, okay, good, and you are back. So I thought, I just told him, then you might be collecting your data for your research. Then he said, no, brother, I need, still in the progress. Then he asked appointment to meet me. Then I said, okay, you can come after Asr prayer. So he came to my office and he just told me the story. Even if brother Dr. Naim is here, I hope that he don't misunderstand me. He just told me that I struggled with my PhD for 1.5 years. I didn't see any progress. Then actually I quit my mentally, not officially. I just quit my PhD and I went back to my country. That was the real situation. I wanted to, just I can't. I thought that I can't continue this PhD, so I went back to my country. So he stayed in the country for around 3-4 months. His father was a professor, I believe. So his father has asked him, but he didn't tell anyone that he has mentally quit the PhD and just went back to his country. But again, his father, like my father, his father pushed him to do try again. So he came back to Malaysia again and UAE. So I just asked him, what is your problem? Then he said that I am trying to do something, but no one can understand what I am doing. Even my supervisor can't understand what I'm doing. Then that is the place that I understood what my supervisor did to me. Similarly, I took a paper, I interviewed him for 1 hour. Then after that, I just told him, is this what you want to do? Then he said, yes, you are the only one able to understand my research. He told like this. Then I said, okay, if this is the case, you didn't explain that thing. Dr. Izuddin, is it the time up?
Sorry, I'm sorry, bro.
Okay. Then I able to fix his problem. So he able to continue his PhD. Now he's a doctor and he's working in Nigeria. So the good networking can help us. So even the social media can help nowadays. Then no progress. Another issue. No progress. So if you have that issue, normally what we do is we don't meet our supervisors. Try to meet regularly your supervisor. Then discipline, right? This is another kind of a thing that most of the time we must misunderstood. That we say that PhD life is 24/7, right? But actually, sometimes this can deceive us, right? We now attending this particular session, materially there is no improvement in our PhD thesis or PhD life. So make sure that every day we spend around 5 hours on my PhD work. That can be measured. At the end of the day, I can see that I have done this. I have read article that related to my PhD, something that relate to my work, right? Otherwise, just talking to my friends, attending this kind of seminar, everything is considered PhD related. So at the end, we say 24/7 we work, but nothing happened. But we have to have a kind of a discipline like this. Actually, I learned this one from Brother Naim. Even though he was a master student, I noticed that he's doing that. Just to give me 2 seconds, one minute, Dr. Izuddin. He was like this. He worked 5 days per day. Sorry, 5 hours per day for research work. If he can't, just say for example, if he couldn't spend five hours on his research, just say he able to spend only 3 hours. Then the next day he covers that 2 hours. while he was doing his master's. So as I told you, I was sharing the same research lab with him. Then I thought that is a good practice. Then I also started to do the same, right? So then, as I told you, there are some links here. These are actually the technical things. If you want, I can share with the organizers. You can get this link that can help you technically how to improve your writing and all. This one, the last one is actually YouTube. I believe that is coming from a Malaysian. I don't know whether she's definitely should be a doctor, but I'm not sure whether he's a professor. This is a YouTube one, right? That talk about the similarly what I just talked to you, but their focus was basically on technical side. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Actually, I'm sorry if I take more time.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Razi. It was very interesting talk. I think it's very beneficial, especially for our students. Now, I think we have another like 5 minutes. Maybe we can open up to the floor if you have any question for Prof. Razi. Or you can type it out on the chat if you have any. Please, Dr. Moni, if you have questions.
Then no question.
Prof, thank you very much for joining our session. You know, despite of short notice, you sort of support us with this session. I really appreciate. I really felt Malaysia terharu. I don't know. Let's go to Izuddin, translate terharu, whatever it is. But I would like to hear from you. Maybe just you know, just as a feedback or reflecting over your experience when you were doing your PhD with KICT, right? Could you share like maybe one best, most interesting experience, and the other one, like, you know, what is if you wish, if you can talk about, you know, what is the worst experience, if you want to share on that. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Murni, worst experience mean no. This is actually if I say in today. So just say, for example, Alhamdulillah, I'm a professor now. So that because I became a professor because of my PhD, I able to do my good PhD because of my supervisor, right? I understand now. But during my my student time, that is the time the two times I told you. One is the time that my proposal was rejected by my supervisor after 4 semesters. Then the time that my supervisor told me that you have to find a different supervisor. This thing came, I think, around 5 or 6 semesters later. So those are, at that time I felt a bad experience. Other than that, I don't find anything. You know, I can't remember anything that bad in my PhD journey. The good thing, actually, that's what I told you, that particular environment is a good one. Then I should say that my first conference paper, IEEE conference paper accepted. That can be one of you know, a motivating point, that because that paper was written by myself, purely myself, right? So I got a kind of a confidence that I can do a better job. So in general, because it's 12 years, Dr. Murni in UIA, so can't remember anything that special during in my UIA life, especially the student life.
Okay, I think we have
Prof. Thank you very much.
We have Prof. Nobik just joined us. So Prof. Nobik, do you have any questions for Prof. Razi?
Prof. No question, Prof. Please, any comments only. No question from you. Prof. Nobik, Assalamu alaikum. He might be muted.
Okay. Okay, I think we maybe have one time for one more question. If any one of you have a question for Prof. Razi, maybe one more before we close.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Prof.
I don't have a question. I just want to say Assalamualaikum.
Yes, me too, Prof. I like that one, Prof. I'm afraid of your question.
No, it's good. But let others ask the question, Dr. Izuddin.
Okay, no problem. Okay, one more question, inshallah. Okay, if there's no question, I think we have one question over here. Okay, I've been working on my thesis for well over a year. I've known that what I wanted to write, but since day one, but was off to a decent start. But for the past year, I've been completely stuck. I have all the information I need. I know my subject and I know what I'm trying to test, but I cannot put any of it into paper. Do you have any, feedback on my situation?
This is very normal for all PhD holders. I mean the students, right? Even now I have around 80 students at the moment here in my university as my PhD level students. All of them, when I talk to them, they are very confident. But when they write or when they have the document that they have, it doesn't give any kind of meaning. So this is quite common, brother or sister. I'm not sure who is asking that question, but this is what we are learning here, especially the academic writing, right? I hope that if anyone asks you what you are doing, you should be able to explain, right? We all have that kind of experience, but when we write, we can't explain ourselves. So this is so please just Google it. All my links that I wanted to share with you all, actually I got from the Google. Just Google it. Just you can type the same the title that we are using here. Is stuck with your thesis and way forward or something. Then there are a lot of technical support. How to come up with your write-up. Technical things, and also you can follow up that one, but you don't worry, right? If you can write what you want within 1 year, then you are already a PhD holder. Right? Even for us, I believe all these professors would agree with us. We also have a lot of ideas in our mind, but we are not in a position to put into a research paper. It takes a lot of our times, right? Because we want to make sure other people understand ourselves. Right, so as a PhD, so this is what the PhD really means. Collecting data, analyzing the data, and reporting the data is a minor thing, right? Within 1 month, people like Izuddin, they are very master in statistics and all these software packages. Within 1 or 2 hours, they can do that. But developing a conceptual framework, developing our problem statement, to convince other people, that is the main thing here. Convincing other people, right? We convince. That's why we have already started our work, convincing others, our reviewers, our examiners, our supervisors. That is a tough job. If you can do that, then you are already qualified to become a PhD holder. So don't worry. This is the life. This is a PhD life. All those people who are here with the PhD, I think everyone would agree with me.
Yeah, we agree with you.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Maybe we can have a photo session. If all of you maybe can switch on your web cameras, maybe we have a photo session.
Yes, Prof. Novik. Right. Adam also there. Good.
Razi, wait for us. Huh? We are coming, inshallah.
Yeah, sure, Prof. Don't
okay,
come now.
Can we have more people opening up their web cameras? Okay, that's good. Aramu, Dr. Aramu, please. Okay, I'm going to count to 3 and then I'm going to take the picture. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Razi, Prof. Razi.
Please share that photo with me.
Inshallah, I will share the photo with everybody. So maybe we can, we had a very pleasant talk today. I think everybody benefited from it. Thank you very much. Inshallah, we will ask you again for another talk and also maybe as a guest lecturer in KICT next year after the pandemic, inshallah.
Yeah, with the air ticket. With the air ticket sponsoring,
yeah, everything is paid for. Inshallah.
Yes.
Okay. Andy, maybe you can close our session here with Tasbih Farah and Suratul As.
Thank you, Prof. Razi.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Razi. I think we can close our session for today.
MashaAllah, we miss you, brother. We miss you so much.
Me too, Prof. Actually, now I can't leave this one. Please leave You leave, then I automatically I will leave. Yes, I want to be with you all.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Dr. Atika.
Thank you.
Hakim,
Thank you, Prof. Razi. Thank you, Dr. Izuddin.
thank you so much.
Dr. Izzat, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, the next session nanti you kena organize tau. Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, Dr. Hakim, I just share my number. Okay. So Izuddin.
So Dr. Razi,
Yes.
our next paper.
Yes. Too busy lah these days. But anyway, I will work on it. Like I told you.
Yeah, inshallah.
Nice to see you after a long time.
Yes, Hakim. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
you came back to UAE again, right?
Yes. Our
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, our home. We were together. Adamu, why are you silent?
Yeah, Adamu, say something.
I caught him actually during my talk because
Ah.
I can remember Adamu. We had a lot of difficult times during our student time, right? Together, we faced a lot of challenges. Dr. Liana, how are you? Yeah, she's okay. Dr. Atika, this is the first time that we are meeting.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, in which department, Dr. Atika?
IS.
IS. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She's teaching database with me.
Okay, good. So who is teaching e-commerce?
I think e-commerce, Dr. Siapa tu? Hafizah ke?
Hafiza.
Hafizah Mansur. Hafizah Mahri, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, Izuddin, then see you inshallah.
Okay, see you, Dr.
Yeah,
Razi.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, once the situation comes to normal, we will meet physically.
Yeah, so
inshallah.
how Sri Lanka currently? So basically, the pandemic is still going on. How are the cases still
The case-
increasing?
No, if you compare with Malaysian situation, we are much better.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I used to check the star.
Still checking the star.
daily basis because
Mashallah.
still I can relate the context, right?
So what
I think-
happened on Malacca election? Do you have any comments on that?
Yes. Yeah, you won actually. You won the election, right? I don't know whether other people can understand, but Izuddin can understand my answer.
Oh, this is very sensitive. I hope it's not on the live YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, waalaikumsalam.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, assalamualaikum.